Shahid Kapoor has had an interesting career in Bollywood to say the least. For every Padmavat, he's had his fair share of duds as well. One thing that still cannot be discounted is that regardless of the outcome of a lot of his films, Shahid Kapoor is a tremendous actor who has found a way to carve his own path in the industry and managed to secure a huge following all around the globe. Sing in 3, 2, 1, With his recent releases doing exponential business across India and beyond, we can all hope that this reincarnation of sorts keeps working wonders for the actor in the coming years. With that said, we now take a look at some of the best characters Kapoor has played since his debut. But before we begin, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next few videos. With that out of the way, this is Amir, and here are 5 best characters played on screen by Shahid Kapoor. Number 5. Aditya Kashyap in Jab We Met. Often overlooked in favor of his more vibrant counterpart in the film Geet, people have yet to give credit to Shahid for his underappreciated contribution to this Imtiaz Ali's romantic drama.
आप लोग सब ऐसे क्यों देख रहे हैं? मैं नर्वस हो जाऊंगा.
The film followed events in the life of Aditya, a wealthy businessman who's just on the brink of depression when he meets the carefree Geet, who inspires him to celebrate life for what it is, only for their roles to be reversed in the second half of the film due to their experiences when they're apart, as Aditya now tries to get out of his own comfort zone to make Geet fall in love with life again. Aditya was as close to a real person as possible, which made him one of the most relatable characters Shahid has ever played. His was a completely defined arc in the film, something we rarely see nowadays in romantic dramas that focus more on romance than the drama. With Jab We Met, Shahid proved that you don't always have to be jumping on your toes to deliver one of your career best.
पता है गीत, मेरे डैड और मॉम एक दूसरे से प्यार नहीं करते थे. दोनों किसी और से प्यार करते थे. और इसी वजह से मैं जिंदगी भर तकलीफ में रहा.
Number 4. Guddu and Charlie in Kaminey. Vishal Bhardwaj has a knack for bringing out the absolute best from his actors in all of his movies, and this can't be any more apparent than in the case for Shahid Kapoor. The 2009 release Kaminey saw Kapoor in shades we hadn't seen the actor ever before, taking him miles away from the chocolate boy image that he had going for himself and entering the dark and gritty world of Bhardwaj. And to make things even more interesting, Kapoor played a double role in the film as 2 alienated brothers. One trying to lead a normal life with his partner, and the other doing whatever it takes to get rich. One who stutters while speaking, and the other who can't help but pronounce S as F.
मनहूफ मरा नहीं तो अब तक, हाँ?
Revolving around these brothers getting sucked into the world of crime for their own reasons, Kaminey put Shahid Kapoor on the map as somebody who needed to be taken seriously going forward. It provided the actor with a newfound confidence to try projects in the future even beyond his own imagination before this film.
Charlie, shortcut या छोटा shortcut.
Number 3. Kabir Singh in Kabir Singh. The official remake of Arjun Reddy by the same director, Shahid's latest release and the biggest hit of his career finished number 3 in our list. Ranging from its chartbuster music to its alleged misogynistic themes, Kabir Singh had a lot of buzz around its release last year. But what we all had to agree on was that Shahid hit a home run in the film. Kabir was a character with layers upon layers within him. He was one of the finest students in his college days, but also a short-tempered maniac who could be classified as borderline obsessive by some. In his latter years, he was a well-reputed surgeon, but also someone who would drink his way to death if given a chance. The movie, which takes us primarily through Kabir's life after his breakup, gave the actor a chance to flirt with different genres of acting within the same role. Kabir was badass, but also rapidly falling in this rat hole of depression. He was a compassionate partner, but also someone you can believably see in a toxic relationship around you. While Shahid had already proven his versatility before Kabir Singh, this movie, in more ways than one, worked as a cherry on top of his well-rounded resume. Number 2. Tommy Singh in Udta, Punjab. A story that depicts ever-growing drug abuse in the Indian state of Punjab and how youth is getting sucked into this because one man, who happens to be a very influential figurehead among the masses, chose to openly take this path, leading a wave of youngsters behind him to ruin their own lives as well. And this guy was the protagonist of the story. No, really, you'd be lying if you'd say that you weren't rooting for him in the film. And how's that even possible? Because of this guy. Shahid Kapoor went into one of the most controversial films of the decade with one goal in sight: make viewers care for a guy whose moral values are equivalent to that of a 5-year-old and yet has the power in his hand to metaphorically control the future. Tommy Singh was an ignorant, loud-mouthed, egotistical piece of crap that we still found a way to like, thanks to his magnetic presence on screen, the humorous flavor that Shahid brought to him, and an arc that didn't feel forced just for the sake of having one.
पॉप स्टार बना दिया 22 साल की उम्र में पॉप फकिंग स्टार एशियन अंडरग्राउंड नंबर 3 टॉमी गबरू और अब ठोस.
And number 1, Haider in Haider. So remember when I said earlier that Vishal Bhardwaj just knows how to bring out the best in Shahid Kapoor? Cue Haider. The third in Bhardwaj's Shakespeare trilogy was an Indian take on Hamlet during the backdrop of the 1990s insurgency in Kashmir and the uprising of the separatist movement. I'll say that again. It was an Indian take on Hamlet during the backdrop of the 1990s insurgency in Kashmir and the uprising of the separatist movement. Talk about riding two wild horses at the same time. And at the center of it all, Shahid Kapoor with the performance of a lifetime. Driven by revenge yet conflicted by compassion, Shahid's take on Hamlet was as true to the source material as possible. Add to that the socio-political environment of the disputed territory Kashmir and all the human rights violations coming from the perspective of a resident in Kashmir, and you get Haider. Haider is an experience that cannot be put to words other than if you haven't watched this movie already, you're missing out big time.
Armed Forces Special Powers Act, Section 5, Rule 4.A. Any commissioned officer, Ji Janab. Warrant officer, Ji Janab. Non-commissioned officer, Ji Janab.
And there you have it, guys. 5 best characters played on screen by Shahid Kapoor.
Well, here I am.
Let me know in the comments down below if you've missed any of your favorites. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's really gonna help. Please like and share the video if you liked it, and let me know in the comments who should be covered next. With that said, have a safe week ahead. This is Amir, and I will see you soon.